Hello everyone. So today we are going to be doing a Grinch look two different ways. So we are going to go ahead and start off by priming the eyes with the Maybelline concealer. And then you can go ahead and take any flat top kabuki brush and just go ahead and blend that all out for a nice smooth surface. And then you do want to go ahead and take any translucent loose powder to go ahead and set that base. So today we are using the James Charles and Morphe palette. We are going to start off with that lime green shade. It's called Social Blade. And you do want to go ahead and just stamp it on all over the crease. And we are using a Morphe M441 brush that we are just going to go ahead and buff that shade out all over the crease. Once you do have that shade nice and blown out, you do want to go ahead and take the next green shade. It's called Daddy. And you're going to go ahead and put it right on top of that lime green shade. So you want to make sure you do take your time when you are blending the Daddy shade out. You want to make sure you just go back and forth, up and down, just keep making sure everything is blown out and smoked out. And then once those shadows are blended out, you do want to go ahead and take any flat top concealer brush. I am using the Morphe M421 brush, and you are going to go ahead and use the same concealer that we did use prior, and you're going to go ahead and carve out that crease for a half halo. And then we are going to go in with a Luxie 239 Precision Shader Brush. And we're going to go ahead and take that shade Guac and go ahead and stamp it on that concealer portion. I was torn using between Guac and the shade Cape Cod just because Cape Cod did have a little bit more of a teal and blue undertone. But I did want to go ahead and make sure I stick to the greens just because we are doing that holiday Grinch look. And once your shadows are all placed, you do want to go ahead and take a makeup remover wipe and just go ahead and wipe away all of that fallout and clean up that line. And then next I am going to go ahead and take any black eyeliner will do the job, but I am taking the black e.l.f. eyeliner. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it is just basically your typical black jet eyeliner that's liquid. And then we are going to go ahead and take the Laura Geller Drama Lash Mascara and go ahead and coat the top of her lashes. And then we are going to go ahead and take these lashes. They are super dramatic, not going to lie, but they're just gorgeous. They're from Amazon. I'll definitely make sure I link them down below. And of course, you know, Caitlin was feeling herself just a little bit. I would too. But then we are going to go ahead and take the Wet n Wild Photo Finish Foundation and go ahead and start blending that all out on the top portion of her face. Then we are going to go ahead and take the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer and go ahead and conceal like normal. And then we are going to go ahead and blend out that concealer with the Morphe M335 Chubby Buffer Brush. Then we're going to go ahead and set that concealer with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. And we're going to make sure we compact it and bake it underneath the under eyes. And then we're going to go ahead and brush it against the rest of the face. Then for the under eyes, we are going to go ahead and use this two same green shades that we did use on the upper lid. We're going to be using Social Blade and Daddy. And we're just going to go ahead and apply it and then wipe away any of the fallout with our powder. Then we're going to go ahead and start bronzing up the face. We're going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And you do want to make sure you bronze up the face. You don't really want to contour or sculpt the face a little too much just because we are going to be drawing over half of that with our green makeup. And of course, we are going to go ahead and take that same Laura Geller mascara and go ahead and apply it to the bottom lashes. And now comes the fun part. We're going to start applying the makeup. Well, the makeup, we have been applying makeup. We're going to go ahead and start applying the green face paint. So we are going to go ahead and take a makeup removing wipe and just go ahead and draw out that line. Typically, you do want to use an eyeliner just to go ahead and carve it out to where you do want to apply it, but I'm a little lazy and I'm just going to go ahead and use a makeup remover wipe. And I don't know how you properly say the name of this face paint. I got it off Amazon. I'll definitely link everything I do use below. But I believe it's how you pronounce it, Marin. I could be wrong. But we are going to go ahead and apply that all over the bottom portion of her face and then drag it all the way down to her neck. And the best part about this face paint, it actually dries matte. And then, of course, our favorite girl, Paige, she decided to show up. So, of course, dance party. So then I just realized I forgot to do her brows. So I am going to go in with that James Charles and Morphe palette. And we're going to use that light brown shade. It's called Tea. And we're going to go ahead and shape out her brows. So now we are going to go ahead and take that Morphe E36 brush. And we're going to go ahead and take that shade Daddy. And we're going to go ahead and start carving out the top portion of her line. And then once we do have that thin line traced out, we are going to go ahead and go in with that black shade from the James Charles palette that is called Spooky. And we're going to go ahead and deepen up that line and go ahead and shade it out just to make it more defined. And you do want to make sure you do take that shade all the way up to the nose, and we are going to go ahead and carve out the nose. Mainly just do like a half circle, almost like a Rudolph in a way. A Rudolph, like the Rudolph. Rudolph? Okay, you know what I mean. And then we are going to go ahead and take that same shade Spooky, and we're going to go ahead and start carving out the smile lines. We are going to be doing 3 lines on each side of the face, and you do want to go ahead and take that shade Spooky and just keep going back and forth, and we're going to go ahead and define it. For some reason, the nose, I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so we are going to take that same liquid liner, and we're going to go ahead and just carve it out and make it a little bit more prominent. And then on top of that, we are going to be using the Guac glitter shade and just go ahead and stamp it on just a little bit. And then we are going to be taking that same liquid liner, and we're going to go ahead and draw a line down the center of her Cupid's bow, and then go ahead and carve out the top portion of her upper lip. So basically it's going to be acting as a lip liner, and then we are going to go ahead and just shade it all in. If you had a black lipstick, that would work as well. But this is the first Grinch look. Thank you so much for watching, and then stay tuned for the second full face Grinch look as well. So we are going to go ahead and start off with Paige's eyes. Everything's already primed and set to go. So we are going to go ahead and start off with the Social Blade, which is that lime green shade. And we're going to go ahead and buff it all out over the lid. And once that is all buffed out, we are going to go ahead and take that darker green, the shade called Daddy, and we're going to go ahead and buff that all over the top of the lime green shade. And now we are going to go ahead and take that darker green shade that is called Daddy, and we're going to go ahead and apply it on top of that lime green shade. Don't be disappointed if this eye look does seem similar to the first one we did do, because honestly, I wanted to come up with a different eye look, but after spending so much time on Caitlin, I did just want to basically replicate the same eye look just because I did like how it turned out on Caitlin, and I did want to go ahead and apply it to Paige. So we are going to be using the same step-by-steps, the same brushes, the same product, basically everything. But the difference between the first look and this look is that we are going to be doing a full face of the Grinch on Paige. Okay, she feels herself. So then we are going to go ahead and take a makeup remover wipe and just go ahead and clean up all the fallout from underneath her eye, and then go ahead and make that sharp line. And then we are going to be taking that same black liner. We're going to go ahead and do a small wing on Paige. Caitlin, we did do a little bit more of a bold wing. Then we're going to go ahead and take that guac shade, apply it all over the lid, and then apply some falsies off camera. Of course, you know, bigger the lashes, higher to heaven. Almost what you say about the hair, but that's with me and lashes. And now we are going to go ahead and apply the green face paint all over the face, down the neck. And I did forget to mention earlier, we first applied the green shade, and then on top, we did add a yellow shade. Because if you did the green just by itself, it looked too much like the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz. But when you add the yellow, it's like that perfect Grinch color. And that moment that you look in the mirror for the first time, no, I'm just kidding. So we are going to go ahead and move on, and like I did promise, we are adding that yellow shade on top, and look at the difference. It just makes it look more Grinchy, more green, and just like that perfect shade that we are looking to apply. Now we are going to go ahead and apply the same 2 shadows on the lower lash line, and just go ahead and blend and buff all those out. And then for the inner corner, I did go ahead and add that yellow shade called Flashback just on the inner corner, just to give a little bit of definition. And sorry, I keep stumbling all over my words. Your girl had too much coffee this morning, and the caffeine is getting to me. So we are going to go ahead and add the mascara to the lower lash line, and then we are going to go ahead and take any pencil brush. We are going to go ahead and dip into that spooky black shade. Ooh. And we're going to go ahead and start carving out the lines for the smile. So I did realize you do have to take the pencil brush and do little section by section, just because you don't want it to be a too drawn out line. You want to have it nice and precise. So we are going to go ahead and just draw the smile lines. We are going to be doing 3 lines on each side of the face, just like we did for Caitlin. And you are just going to go ahead and go stroke by stroke. And then this is just repetition. Everything you did do on the left, you're going to go ahead and do it on the right. So go ahead and draw that first line, and then go ahead and carve out the 3 smile lines. I did want to go ahead and show you guys my inspiration for today's look. I forgot her Instagram name, but when you do type in Grinch makeup looks on Instagram, The first one that comes up is basically her. She's gorgeous and her skill level is out of this world. That was my inspiration just for a little bit for today. And then just like that, we are gonna go ahead and carve out the nose, do like the little Rudolph dot. And then we're gonna go ahead and take that same eyeliner and just go ahead and drag it downward, down the Cupid's bow, and then go ahead and start carving out her little lines. I did forget, we are gonna go ahead and add the little whiskers. I don't remember if I told you guys that we did do that on Caitlin. We are gonna go ahead and just dot it with the liquid liner on Paige. So then you do want to go ahead and add the same spooky black shade, and you want to go ahead and just buff that on out and smoke it out just a little bit so it doesn't look too neat and too perfect. And then once that is applied, we are going to go ahead and take that darker green called Daddy, and we're going to go ahead and apply it right on top of that black shade and then smoke it out just a little bit. You do want it a little bit more defined on the smile line just because, you know, the Grinch is always smiling and he has a signature look. So just to define it a little bit more, we are going to go ahead and take that white shade and then put it on the inner corner of the smile lines as well, just to get a little bit more definition. And of course, Paige being Paige. And since we did do a full look on Paige, I did want to go ahead and just carve out the center of her nose just a little bit. So we are using that dark green shade once again to go ahead and define that nose. And then we are going to be taking a bigger blending brush and just go ahead and give her a little bit of a shadow for some contour. And in the last couple of seconds, I am just going to go ahead and do some finishing touches, define that nose just a little bit more. I forgot to apply that guac shade right there in the center of her nose. And then we are going to go ahead and just do a little bit more defining of the smile lines just because she didn't agree with me. But I did want to go ahead and just make it a little bit more defined. And then to make sure everything is blended out perfectly, you are going to go ahead and take that Morphe blending brush and just go ahead and buff everything out. Okay, I see you, Paige. But then we are going to go ahead and take that black liquid elf liner and just go ahead and do the top lip just like before. But like I did say, if you did have a black lipstick, that would save you so much time. And then we are going to go ahead and take a makeup remover wipe to go ahead and clean up the bottom lip just because the Grinch does have that bare bottom lip look. And this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I do appreciate it. Make sure you comment and like down below, and we'll see you guys next week.